Hello, guys, and welcome back to another episode of X-tricated. I am your favorite host, KB, and with me here today is DDB, my trusty sidekick. Even though he doesn't want to admit that, but we move on. David, how are you doing today?
I am doing fine, and I'm getting used to this trusty sidekick of a thing. And I don't like it. My ego does not like it. But
he really doesn't like it.
but I'm accepting it right now.
A very, very egotistic human being.
I am not. I am not. I am not. I am not.
So welcome back to Extricated, and we hope you enjoyed the last episode because we are building on that in this episode. Remember, we talked about Vision 2030 of Saudi Arabia and basically how they're trying to improve their country and embarking on ambitious projects to diversify their economy beyond oil production and in also improving basically their lives in different aspects. We saw that not only are they improving technology, improving their climate action basically by doing the whole green initiative thing, they are also investing in their youth, they're investing in their women. They have opened their country for the first time basically to outside investors, and all this because they are looking to leave the whole realm of oil production and stuff after a while, to the dependence of that.
And they're actually doubling down on tourism, getting more investment into tourism, getting more involvement when it comes to women's involvement basically in the work environment, and also
not just in work environment but also businesses
as well.
So we said, are there lessons to learn from Saudi Arabia? Obviously there are lessons to learn. So it's begs the question, what are the opportunities for diversity in Nigeria? As we already know, Nigeria is a heavily oil dependent country, and it's not that oil is the only thing that we have. To be honest, we are blessed with so many things. They say Nigeria is one of the most blessed countries in the world based on we have numerous natural resources, and then we also have minimal natural disasters too. So we actually have the environment basically to enjoy what we can produce, but then we are not actually tapping that to the fullest. We basically depend on oil most of the time.
I will implore you to go on YouTube or podcasts, just type Nigeria's potential or videos about Nigeria. And I'm not talking about Nigerians talking about Nigeria's potential. I'm talking about different publications out there that talk about BBC, CNN, like different channels that talk about economics, countries in the third world and how they're developing, and how just you see exactly what they say about Nigeria when it comes to, some of them will even say Nigeria is perfectly balanced when it comes to resources available, right?
The resources that we have, both natural and human.
They are even putting the question mark saying future world power. You get, some of them are doing that, you understand? Because
at least
there's
the
a
future
lot.
African power. We are an African power already.
We're actually an African power,
so future world power. If Africa is to stand up, it's the day Nigeria stands up. I mean, I think there was someone who said that. I'm paraphrasing actually. I didn't say it the way he said it. So we were talking about oil. I think so I read this article from 2018 where I can't remember his name. Oh, I can't give him credit. So he said that Nigeria, he did the math, or he did the research rather, and then he discovered that Nigerian oil rather contributes 9.61% to Nigeria's gross domestic product, that's the GDP. But then
it's huge.
That's
interesting. That 9.something%.
That's 9.61%. But it's oil, it's Nigeria. You don't know that Nigeria. But then when you now talk about Nigeria, the contribution of oil to Nigeria's foreign exchange, that's when you now see the very big difference. We have about 87.7% of Nigeria's foreign exchange being produced by oil, being contributed to by oil.
So what that means is that out of the 100% of what Nigeria exchanges in foreign markets, the contribution of oil, right, or oil and gas, right, is 87.7%. So which means out of basically everything that we produce in the country, the only thing that is appealing to people outside our shores is petrol or fuel or oil and gas, however you want to say it. It's even crude oil, however you want to say it. So which means the rest, that is 12.3%. No matter, it's funny, also embarrassing at the same time, because we are heavily reliant on crude oil.
And remember what I said last week about the remaining, how many years we have left?
Yes.
When we talk about oil drilling, oil production, and all,
Yeah.
we don't have that much. We have about 234 years, I think, or 230 something years, thereabout, that we have left for oil production, and
that's even at the current production rate, basically, remember. So if that production rate increases, consumption and production actually increases, we are going to, like, that number, that's what's it called, it's going to reduce, it's going to drop big time,
maybe it will drop to like maybe 150 years by next year.
Exactly.
So imagine we reach a point within the next 50 years. Let's say our production increases. There is increased supply, increased demand, increased supply. There is increased consumption even within also, and we end up using up our oil within the next 50 years, and we still have nothing to show for it. Imagine where would Nigeria be? You understand?
What else? What next?
We've been drilling oil for about 60 years now. We've been drilling oil for about 60 years, but we don't really have the benefits visible to us. You understand? We don't have the benefits visible to us when you compare ourselves with other oil producing countries, especially like the Arab countries like Saudi Arabia, for example. As we talked about last week, we saw the kind of developments that has already gone on there. In fact, the kind of cars that we drive here are the kind of cars that we drive as big boys here are the kind of cars that they use as taxis over there. You understand? So there's a very big difference between them and us. So we are trying to look at, so why is it that just oil that is valuable? That's a very valuable thing, or there's only interesting thing that we have to offer. Does it even mean that is the only appealing thing in Nigeria? It definitely isn't, but then it's the only thing that has been paid attention to.
Based on potential, it's not.
It's not actually.
Based on potential, it's not the only thing, but based on what is currently available at the moment, right? That is the only thing that is appealing, right? So, and I think, out of everything that is raw in this country, crude oil is the only raw commodity that people love and that we actually want, right? So everything that is raw, everything in Nigeria is raw. So what else is raw in Nigeria?
There's one metal that people are going to be interested in very, 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 very soon. People are going to fight for it.
And if Nigeria is not careful, that will happen. Like the same thing that is happening with crude oil is going to happen. It's going to be worse.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be worse. So, which industry do you want to start? We actually curated a number of industries, and I would really
have the best potential.
Yeah, I would really like to call them infrastructural industries, because these industries are industries that really define or set the tone when it comes to how your economy plays around.
Yes.
You understand? So we're going to start with agriculture and real estate.
Agriculture and real estate. Why we put them together is because they both have to do with land, which Nigeria has a lot of. So we would start off with that. So Nigeria has actually been blessed with beautiful land, let me put it that way, because our soil is very, very conducive for production production of food.
I was reading based on that. I was reading, and it's an Oxford University research, and based on their research, they said Nigeria's land, out of the 100%, Nigeria's land, 87.3% of that land is agricultural based, right? More like there's what is it called? Urbanization has not reached there. You understand?
Yes.
It's used for agricultural purposes. You understand? But then, out of the 83.7%, only 40% of that is arable. Now, what arable means is that that's the only thing that can be plowed at the moment, or can be used, how am I going to say it?
Can be utilized for
agriculture. You understand? So now, and that 40% that is there, right? They said that this is Nigeria's best time for agriculture. Why? Because the soil is now rich and ready for exploitation. Agricultural exploitation, basically. You understand? And 40% is huge. Some people will say it's a small thing, but 40% of Nigeria's total land mass, that is huge.
That
is huge.
And to add to what you just said, when we talk about now being the best time, you understand? In the past, especially if you go down towards the south region, where we used to have, you still have some of those problems today, but they are not as much as before. Now we used to have the issue of contamination of soil and water by oil products, basically the oil drilling stuff. So we have communities basically being their livelihood basically being taken away due to oil spillage and dumping of toxic waste and whatnot. And so all those things have now been reduced today, and you now have more land available for farming, for agriculture. Well, and when we talk about agriculture, we're not just talking about planting of crops. We also talk about the rearing of animals, because Nigeria also has the potential to produce beef, basically. Our indigenous breeds in Nigeria are not really meant for production of milk, like we have in some countries like UK and Holland, for example. But then with the advent of artificial insemination technology and also some other developments, we've been able to import some of these breeds down here and make conducive environments. That's especially in private farms. They've been able to do that, and then also up the milk production. But aside from that,
red geek in him is talking.
Hello, keep quiet. So aside from that, most of our local breeds will most likely give you only meat, and that's fine. There are countries in Africa, or there's a country in Africa that basically has a commission set up for just meat.
See how this guy is focused and he's talking. You guys have to see him. A veterinary doctor talking about animals, the way he's talking about it in a focused sense. Continue.
They are focused on just meat. You understand? And they export to European countries, and you know that European countries actually consume a lot of beef. They do consume a lot of beef. Then America also consumes a lot of beef too, you understand? And even though they produce,
it's actually in their tradition.
Yes, even though they produce, they also consume very high. It's just like oil in America. America is one of the largest producers of oil. Most people don't know that, but they consume so much that they also have to import too. You understand? So it's basically an opportunity that we are not utilizing, basically, because our meat is not up to quality yet. We don't have the infrastructure to make sure that we are producing. First of all, we are producing enough. We are not even producing enough for ourselves. Not to talk of producing to export, you understand? Right? But we have the potential.
And there's one thing also, right? Now our raw products, they are very, very quality. For example, our beans. Nigerian beans is something that Europe really patronize, right? And even at that, some countries are actually cheaper than Nigeria. So Europeans will now go for the cheaper one because of that, right? But our beans is really quality. You will say Bruno beans is basically the best beans in what's it called, Nigeria. But then there's Kaduna beans as well. that is actually
We're talking from a Borno man's perspective.
no, but Kaduna's own is actually good too. You understand? I've tasted it, I've seen it, right? But Borno brown beans, that brown beans is the best in the country.
Rest.
Look up. But anyway, there are challenges with when it comes to agriculture. Yeah. As he said, as KP mentioned, right, infrastructure is very, very important.
Yes.
There's also data too, because when you go to European countries, some Asian countries, and United States of America, yeah, they have the right amount of data of what to do next, what not to do, when to do it, at what particular time to do it, when is this even the right year to actually plant this particular thing, based on the rain forecast, is this the right thing to do, the soil profiles, do we really have them,
and a lot of research to improve both the quality and then also the resistance of those plants to pests and diseases, basically plant fungi and all those that will destroy your crops.
What's it called? We've had progress when it comes to fertilizer in the country. You understand? Also weeding as well. You get, but there are many agricultural startups that are coming up, right? That you see that they want to come up with data infrastructures for agriculture, but they can't, because getting data in Nigeria is a problem. And we're going to talk about and a big problem of that now is insecurity. To get those data right now is insecurity, and there's another big problem that we're going to see. It's basically withholding data from the people. You get?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm really going to rant about that. It's a special thing.
What about real estate?
Yeah. Now, when it comes to real estate, Nigeria, is a population, has a current population of growth rate of 2.7%, and it's about to reach 440 million people in 2050 based on the forecasts.
Wow.
That was made, right? Now, right?
In this small country.
Nigeria has a median age of 19, and the urban population growth of Nigeria, right, is at 3.7 per year. You understand? Now, the total population of Nigeria, right, in these urban areas will actually surpass 50% in towns and cities. I mean, total population of Nigerians, let's say 200 or 300 million people in Nigeria, right? Over 50% of them are forecasted to be in towns and cities.
Okay.
You understand? In in the future. Now, that only means that there's more need for residential buildings.
Yes.
You understand? There's more need for commercial buildings as well. You understand?
And not just
you get, so which means construction,
buildings, but affordable housing.
Thank you, affordable housing. You understand? So which means construction is increasing. Not that it's even going to increase, it's actually increasing in Nigeria.
Yes.
It is increasing. Like anywhere you go to, real estate is really booming at the moment in Nigeria. Yeah, and it's because of that. People are really relocating, and it's not even about relocating itself. There's urbanization of certain cities and towns, certain towns basically. You understand? So that is really going to explode and all that. So that's another place where there's potential, right?
Yes.
And I think that place is really getting investment at the moment.
The plus side of it is that we essentially just mentioned a problem basically, and we mentioned the solution.
Yeah.
You understand? If you are able to provide a solution within yourself, other people will want to get that solution from you, within Africa or outside Africa.
Yeah.
Within Africa, even now, we are not perfect, but then people still want to come and get our solutions for different things.
Exactly.
You understand? There are even some less than ideal policies that happen within Nigeria that some other countries in Africa want to copy. Just that.
Yeah.
For example, the whole Twitter ban thing.
Apart from
which country wants to copy that?
Even the lithium, even the lithium. You know that other countries are also getting to know that they also have deposits of lithium in their country.
Yes.
Zimbabwe, for example, also did the same thing to Tesla, like Nigeria did to Tesla.
Exactly.
Because Tesla went to Zimbabwe and said they wanted to do
after
something.
Nigeria rejected.
Yes, but Zimbabwe did the same trick to them. Other Eastern African countries now are doing the same thing now to Tesla. So it's basically Africa now is going to be is really going to hold that power now of control, except something happens.
Exactly.
Who is going to break first?
It's either you come and establish.
Yes.
You make them come and establish companies here so that they can employ people, or you do that by yourself. You basically take a person that is bold, basically, to say, okay, I'm going to tap into this opportunity, and then you take that. So
then in that same research that I read in Oxford, they talked about, they were not even accurate with this. They talked about tourism and how Nigeria has a lot of tourism attraction.
That's the next one.
That's the next one. Another industry, tourism. Now, tourism is controlled by the government. Basically, at the moment, the Yankari Game Reserve has died. Died.
Still, it's still people,
it's not that glory is no longer there.
They still choose there to, hang out.
Yeah.
Do something.
But it's still not like before. I remember when I went there, what's it called? Our school for excursion. Basically, I was doing boarding school when I was in Adamawa State. Boarding school. That was around 2006. Early 2006. We went for an excursion. Went to Yankari Game Reserve, and last year I went to Yankari Game Reserve, and it's not close to how it was before. You understand?
Places like Wildlife Natural Park in Jos.
Yes.
All those places are dying. You have Obudu Cattle Ranch.
That one too.
Yeah. There are so many places. Then Kogo Warm Spring.
People do not even know this. See, the Taraba State. Taraba State. Oh my
Taraba
God.
State in itself is a. The scenery.
the scenery alone.
Taraba State is wonderful.
Yeah.
You understand? The scenery in Jos, in Plateau, in general, is wonderful.
And let me add to that the scenery in Borno State as well. Yeah, forget about. I'm saying
but the only thing that we know Borno State for right now is
for insecurity.
It's
yeah,
insecurity.
But
it is a beautiful. It's a tourist attraction.
It's a tourist attraction because one, it's they have mountains. It's more like Nigeria and Cameroon have Banki, right? I don't know whether people know Banki. No, people do not know Banki. They are basically two. It's a town, right? That is separated by a border, right? There's Banki Cameroon, Banki Nigeria, right? And that is in Borno State. And that Banki now is in between two, what's it called? Mountains.
Yeah, about to geek out about this.
Is in between two mountains, right? And one mountain goes down to Adamawa State, right? Down inside Adamawa State. And it's more like a wall, acting like a wall, a border wall between Cameroon and Nigeria, and it's amazing. Oh my God, the mountains there in Borno State around that area is really beautiful.
We have a lot of rock formations, especially in especially in northern Nigeria.
Exactly, and in my own local government, right, there has been volcanic eruptions. And oh my God, the beautiful scenery there in my own hometown is massive.
So is it the volcanic eruption that is beautiful?
No. What it left, not the volcanic eruption itself, but what it left, the aftermath of it, right? They actually beautified the area. You understand? You just have to see it during rainy season.
Yeah.
You understand? It's so beautiful. There are waterfalls in my own place in Borno State. There are waterfalls there, and you will not know.
Is it as good as Niagara, though?
No, because it has not been beautified. It needs to be. You see, this is what we're talking about: investing into tourist attractions.
He's trying to be so patriotic right now.
No, honestly, yeah. Let's get sidetracked a little bit. Yeah, I was really inspired by the potential that we have in this country when I was researching and going deep dive, having a deep dive into this, because we have a whole lot. We're going to talk about that, but yeah, let's continue. So tourism is like, do you guys know of Lake Chad Basin? Oh my! If you don't know of Lake Chad Basin, please go and check it out. Yeah, It's another tourist.
Sorry, you should go and create another podcast for Borno State.
It's another thing in Borno State. You understand? Yeah, it's really. And basically, we also have a hydroelectric dam in Borno State that we do not know. Let's continue. Yeah, so
I have Miranda speechless.
Now that's just Borno State. Yeah.
But this man has just decided to be biased about this state.
I'm not biased. This is what I know.
He turned the entire section of tourism to Borno State.
But it's not just that. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about when it comes.
But yeah,
come to Kaduna State.
But
there's a dog village. There's a dog village. There's a Kajuru Castle.
Kajuru Castle is what most people know about Kaduna State.
Yeah.
Aside from landmarks, rock formations, nature, and whatnot, let's say even wildlife too.
Mm-hmm.
Another aspect of tourism that a lot of people seem to forget is cuisine. First of all, let me talk about culture. We are very, very rich in culture. We have numerous ethnic groups in Nigeria. There's nowhere you enter in Nigeria without finding out an ethnic group that you never knew about.
Yeah.
You understand?
And let's be honest here. Let's put our differences aside here. If you get to know each culture on their own, you will really be appreciative of creation, of nature, of how people are different. Because, my God,
beauty in diversity.
There's beauty in diversity, man. There's beauty in every culture.
That's why I also want Nigeria to diversify the economy too.
Yeah, exactly. Diversification is beautiful, man. It's beautiful. So, like, there's no culture that I've met. Yeah, every culture has its flaws and everything, blah, 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 blah. That's always going to be there. Every human has a flaw. Every country has a flaw, yeah? But there's beauty in every culture.
So tapping into this rich culture, we can also basically invite people over. We can attract people over, and make them see the beauty in what we have. I mean, if you look at South Africa, for example. South Africa, especially the Zulu tribe, they are basically well known, not just to South Africans, to Nigerians, to other Africans, to people from other continents too. They come over from different places just to see their festivals, to see their displays. Look at Brazil, for example. Brazil has some carnivals, right, basically.
Mexico has this
that people go for.
What's it called? What's it called? The skeleton. I can't remember that. Oh God, I can't remember the festival where everybody just wears what's it called, a black clothing and then skeletal drawings.
I want to call the name, but I don't know whether it's right. I think it's Dias de Muertos or something like that.
Thank you. Yeah, something de Muertos. So something de Muertos. Yeah. But that is a tourist attraction.
And then USA, for example, like if you go to Louisiana, you have the Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
You have Mardi Gras there. A lot of people are attracted also.
Is it in Valencia or is it in Seville in Spain? The tomato, what's it called? Tomato festival, tomato carnival. Not carnival, sorry, it's a festival, tomato festival where you throw tomato at everybody. They are harvesting tomato. Do you know that?
A little bit wasteful, don't you think?
It's not a little bit wasteful. That's why they're doing it. There's enough. There's plenty.
Oh, yeah.
You understand?
Enough so you can waste, huh?
So everybody wears white shirts and black trousers. So
speaking of
it's just
speaking of turning white into another color, you also have Diwali in India.
Yeah.
You understand? So many non-Hindu people also go there.
Yeah.
For that festival, just to
experience
what it is
about. No, that's not holy.
It's holy. I'm talking about
not Diwali.
Oh my God, Diwali is lights.
Yes.
While Holi is colors.
Holy is colors. Wow. Yeah.
Diwali is the festival of lights.
Oh my God, I love Holi.
You are the Indian expert here.
Yeah, that's why I'm
to say stuff like that.
Holi is like Holi is spelled Holi. Holi is beautiful. Like the way they play with colors during that. Oh my God!
So we have numerous tribes with numerous festivals that
cultures
that are also of that can also be of international appeal
Yeah.
to us. We just have to tap into that.
And you know,
We
in our
tap into
movies,
that. We
yeah,
tap into the cuisine.
in our movies, we
Tap
don't.
into arts.
In our movies, we don't do that.
We don't.
We don't express our art in our movies. We don't express our cultures, our festivals.
I mean,
is it that you are afraid of?
We need to.
Is it that there's low self-esteem?
We need to give credit. We need to give credit.
No,
They currently do that.
Yeah, now
They
to
currently do that.
the entertainment industry, they actually they currently
Yes.
do that. Actually, I agree with that.
So speaking of entertainment, we also have attractions too.
Yeah.
We have our, chart topping.
No, when it comes to that, it's not even
chart topping
it's not-
whiskey,
see,
chart
it's-
topping the video.
It's not a potential at the moment. It's not potential at the moment.
Really?
Yeah, there's still potential.
It's a potential.
But it's a potential, but oh my god, they've gone to levels now. In the past decade, right? The entertainment industry in Nigeria has really improved. Really improved.
Yes.
And there's so much more they can do.
Yes.
So much more they
So
can do.
the thing with a lot of these artists basically is that a lot of their international audience, they basically take it there.
Yeah.
They take it there. So we don't have festivals that basically
would
bring people here.
Yeah.
You understand?
Exactly.
If you have a music festival like say Coachella, for example, if you have something like Coachella in Nigeria, it will attract other people to Nigeria.
Yeah, it
You
will.
understand? If you have it in somewhere like can't be Lagos is already crowded.
Do it in Abuja, for example.
You understand? Yeah.
You can do it in
a place
Abuja.
like Calabar.
Exactly,
like,
Enugu. Like I can even say you can even do it in Calabar and Enugu. Why? Because it's going to attract a lot of people to places that you want them to be.
Yes.
You understand? So, like places like Imo State, for example. Where else again?
A place like Plateau.
A place like Plateau. Thank you. A place like Plateau. A place like Borno. No, not yet. Because of the security, not yet, man. Not yet. But you get the point. So, apart from that industry, we have the mining
and natural resources.
Yeah, mining and natural resources. Now,
and by extension, manufacturing.
Yes, manufacturing. Now, this is another special one for me. Why? Because it's something I'm actually looking into going about, but let's not talk about it. But it's something that infrastructures have not allowed Nigeria to really build upon that. But we have coal. We're blessed with like high deposits of coal, tin, limestone, iron ore, lithium, right, and zinc.
My magic mineral.
You get and zinc. You understand? So all these things. Look, let me tell you something. Yeah, these things these natural resources that I just mentioned now. Yeah, they're not even up to half of what Nigeria has.
Yes.
They're not up to half of what Nigeria has. And what you can do with this, let me say, basically everything about the manufacturing industry, basically everything that you want to talk about, production, cars, any type of fuel you want to produce, can be produced in Nigeria. I'm a fan of MotoGP and Formula 1, right? And motorsports.
Yeah.
Yeah, and these sports, they need a specific kind of material for their cars and bikes, right? And we can do that in Nigeria. Yeah.
What material is that?
Yeah, it's basically coal. You can use coal. Yeah, they use carbon fibers to produce their cars, and it's got from coal.
Yes.
You understand? And then everything about Nigeria, I just mentioned here, is about steel making.
Yes.
And we're talking about construction being on the rise, not just in Nigeria but everywhere around the world. See the kind of ambitious project that is good. It's like it's a competition of ambitious projects right now in the world. You get? And Nigeria has a high deposit of steel or something that can make steel.
Yes, iron.
You understand? Yeah, iron ore, and we have, apart from iron ore, we have limestone as well, right? To produce steel. You get? So that is a lot. And then we have something that's going to go into the future now, lithium batteries.
Yes. with the advent of electric cars, basically.
Not just electric cars, electric everything.
Yes.
You understand? Rechargeable batteries.
Before that, everyone was just thinking about phone batteries, basically.
Yes.
So the demand has not been that high. But then we're now talking about electric vehicles. Electric vehicles
electric planes.
Exactly.
Electric everything. Electric
so
skateboards.
you need
electric
even more lithium for more purposes.
Exactly.
And you have to.
We're not even talking about. It's not even only electric what's it called? Motor vehicles and all that, but even equipment.
Yes. You cannot understate the importance of lithium right now going into the next 5-10 years, because there's going to be a lithium race, basically.
Yeah.
There's going to be a race for lithium in countries that are rich in lithium now, like Nigeria. India has also discovered some new lithium deposits of recent. So everybody wants to have lithium right now. So you can't do without mining, basically. You can't do without improving that industry, and we actually need to be able to be ready. We need to be ready for what is coming. So we need to prepare our mining industries. We need to be able to attract investors from other countries.
Infrastructures need to be created.
We need to create those infrastructure first, so we can be able to attract investors. So the next one is tech.
Why are you looking at me? I mean, computer science doesn't mean.
That's not what I was looking at.
Why are you looking at me?
I was looking at you just because you're the one that's very, very extremely excited about tech, and then you've had some very, very, very strong opinions about tech of late.
Yeah, I really do.
In Nigeria,
I do have, right.
We have a certain group of people we call the tech bros and tech babes, right? So it's not just like that. It's because there has been a great uptick in the rate at which Nigerians are acquiring tech skills.
Yes. And that's actually a plus to the Nigerian government. It's really a plus. Like, give credit where credit is due. Yeah, they really tried. They really tried with that.
We have had that improvement, basically, number one, due to personal preferences. Basically, Nigerians are always looking for the next opportunity, to be honest. We as citizens are looking for that, especially the more educated ones. Then also we have had some, we like call it incentives, basically, by that Ministry of Digital Economy. You understand? Under them, they've brought out some, especially through the Nigerian Institute of Technological Development and that stuff. So they've created avenues for people to learn different skills. They create courses. They sponsor people to get courses and all that. But I feel like there's a fundamental problem there. We are creating more people. We are creating more technically oriented people, but then we don't have a market for them. You understand?
However, this is where the big problem comes in here now, right? Now, developed countries, when it comes to building businesses, right? Let's say running expenses for companies in developed countries is high, right? And even in business, right? So your expenses goes more on your running expenses and developmental talent, right? So guess what? They found a cheap labor area now
from Nigeria,
because Nigeria are developing the talents, and the talents are actually good, but then it's cheap labor. Yeah, they're not making use of them, and then there's cheap labor. So okay, fine. As a US citizen that I have a business and I want to get someone that normally, if I'm going to get a business development officer in US, I have to pay that person, let's say, over $50,000 in a year. But in Nigeria, if you pay me $10,000, if you pay me $10,000 in a year, I'll be happy.
Exactly, especially when you consider the fact that you can still look for another
job.
You understand? The whole freelance economy thing
has allowed that.
Yeah, that's basically allowed that. So Nigerians are more into freelance now, and they're basically helping other other companies outside develop without doing that here.
There's something that Kevin mentioned about yes, you're developing the talent, but you're not developing innovators.
Yes.
It's not just about developing innovators, you're not developing the environment, the infrastructure for innovators to thrive.
Yes.
Even if you're creating programs for innovators, you're not creating the infrastructure for them to actually thrive.
Yes.
For example, you see some people come up with a very good idea, a very good what's it called, car, for example, car design, blah blah blah, but they won't be able to continue with producing it in this country because the infrastructure does not allow them. The policies does not allow for a young person that's coming up with amazing innovation to actually thrive because they're going to kill you off. You get? So the next thing is for somebody out there, again, the developed country, to come and poach the talent again and then go and develop that same idea in their country. And that we get to forget about the whole thing.
That's why it's another avenue for brain drain.
Yeah. Do you know that the Pontiac vibe that you know was designed by a Nigerian?
That's interesting.
You get, so that's one of the talents.
That.
That's a talent gone. And guess what? He's from the north. You get, so this is
who I think it is.
Huh?
This is who I think it is. This very popular guy. I think he was in architecture or something like that.
I can't remember his name, but he designed by Pontiac that we know.
Okay.
Like he has that design. You understand? So now that's not just it, right? We have data infrastructures. Now, one of the infrastructures that is there, is data infrastructures. And I said I was going to talk about this. I'm going to rant about this. Federal Bureau of Statistics, Nigeria. See here, it's good when there's no data, and we know that there's no data. Fine, no problem. But then, when you go and you have these finances to go and fund research, and you find good data, but you don't publish them on your website, or you don't publish them for people to know that there is data. You don't even publish it. Not that you don't. Like, I know that Federal Bureau of Statistics, they have a website where I can go and get data, right?
Yes.
But then, you're not going to update your website based on the data that you've got. And then when you go to ministries, you go to certain places, you see that they've had covert operations, data operations, that they are actually working to get real solutions to them.
Yes.
It's only meant for the government to have access to. What's the point if you're trying to
and all those things should actually be in public domain?
Yeah. What's the whole point?
If you go, you check, you probably see things that are old information.
Yeah, basically. Old information. Basically, 2006, 2007, 8.
If I want to solve a problem in 2023, why should I look for some?
I can't look for something anything beyond 2018.
Yes.
Anything
why should I be looking at data from 2015 or 2016?
Exactly.
Doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense. So, but you have the data, but you're not letting people get access to the data. And it's not that they get everything. It's not easy. They can't do that alone. Basically, you understand? They also need to open their doors to allow people to actually help.
Yes.
And that's one other thing too. Nigerians, innovators that we have, do not really want to go there. They only create data analytic companies that they analyze data, and then the data that we have right now is only for fintech data. Yes. Right? Even the tech companies that are here, fintech companies, right? Yes. Anything beyond fintech, because fintech is basically in our system. Yes. BVN, everybody has BVN, so you have data from every bank and everything. You understand, Bob?
Yes.
You have data from CBN.
Exactly.
You understand, but basically every single person, you understand, has BVN, except they don't register the bank.
Yeah,
that's
true.
You understand? So that data is readily available. You understand? So you can have, when it comes to finance, you can have data when it comes to finance. You understand? And people are using that to actually build more data. So that fintech industry is set to when it comes to data. But other places will go. For example, look at agriculture. For example, we mentioned data soil. We mentioned data. Data that you need to know. You don't have that. right? There are some people that have this idea. A friend of mine has an idea of drones. You understand, to be able to help agricultural to fertilize agricultural farms and all that. But most of what he has to do, he needs data, but there's no data.
Yes.
There's a friend that also wants to be able to tell people like agricultural businesses, to be able to say, okay, fine, help these people now know what to do, what to plant this year, what not to plant this year, how to plant it, what time to plant it, because of the soil profile, the wind profile, blah blah, every other thing. But they don't have that. And another challenge is security. You understand? So that's another. And then going further, let's go to another industry now, for example. The power industry now. That, I think, for now has been settled, has been privatized, if I'm not mistaken, yeah? I think 6 years ago. Because I just saw a video of Tony Elumelu saying that he actually purchased a share of that can allow him and his company, or his group, to be able to generate 1,000 megawatts of electricity. So at that point, it was able to produce 400 watts. Now I think they can produce more. And I have not even researched. Maybe they've even acquired more than 1,000 now along the line. You understand?
So basically, what that does is to create competition in the market.
Yeah, exactly.
So creating competition in the market essentially makes it available, makes power more available
to citizens.
Actually, if you take a look at it, power generation has actually improved in the past few years. You understand? It has improved a lot. It's not like we had it when we were kids, basically. The downside is that I feel like most of these companies are not really focusing on green energy. At this point, whatever it is that we're trying to do, we're supposed to try to focus on making sustainable means of generating energy, be it from wind, be it from solar energy. I think right now we may not have the capacity to even think nuclear, but then at least wind and solar energy should be what we should be thinking about. But most of us aren't really thinking about that. It's just like as we are currently, we're talking about refineries when some people are even switching away from oil. We're talking about diversifying from oil, but we're talking about bringing refineries now. You understand? It's a little, I call it too late, or too much too late, to be honest, because we shouldn't be thinking of such things right now. We should be thinking green, basically. But then it's also okay. It cuts a lot of costs, because we can't completely just stop using oil just like that. It has to be phased out little by little. So yeah, that's one thing that they have to consider. Then the next is education.
Yeah, I have something to say, but KB will say something else. So let's even make this clear. Yeah? Now, when it comes to education, right, there's the difference between schooling and talent development, or really building knowledge, right? Now, the country has really tried and put effort when it comes to talent development and improving knowledge when it comes to entertainment and all that. I don't know whether you could contradict to that.
No, I don't.
Okay. Now, coming to schooling, our educational system. First of all, before I make my point, the schooling system in Nigeria is subsidized, highly subsidized. So I am of the view that we privatize that area, or remove the subsidy. Right? Remove the subsidy or privatize it. Now, when you do that, then you introduce the loan system, student loan system. Now, there's a secret that I came to understand about the US, right? Why is it that US citizens, they hardly leave their country? Most of them are under student debt. They can't leave their country because they are under student debt. So they are going to live their whole life paying over $400,000 worth of student loans.
So your solution to education.
Now, my solution to education, why? Because
wait. The solution to education is
to schooling,
whatever. To enslave Nigerians.
I am not enslaving Nigerians.
Sorry, let me even put it this way.
I'm not enslaving Nigerians.
Your solution to brain drain. The solution to brain drain because that's what it is now. The solution to brain drain is to enslave Nigerian citizens by shackling them with heavy student debts. That is what you're trying to say right now. Is that what you're trying to say,
That's
Mr.
not
David Daniel?
that is not what I'm trying to
Is that what you're
say.
saying?
No, that is not what I'm trying to say. What I am trying to say here is, now when we introduce it in a sense, it doesn't mean that it becomes. Let me even say this: privatization is not the best option, but removal of subsidy is the best, right? But then, if you remove fuel subsidy, you have to make sure that you have the best people managing these schools, basically, right?
You just said fuel subsidies, like you're thinking of fuel
Hey
subsidies.
God, educational subsidy. Hey God, education subsidy, whatever subsidy. So when it comes to student loans, introducing student loans in Nigeria is going to help. Why? Because you allow people to actually have access to proper education. Because one, you're subsidizing education, but also you're making sure that that's removal of subsidy now allows you to actually really invest into the schooling system, right? They get quality education, right? Now, apart from that, you need to really support it with talent. What's it called? Talent improvement, talent development, right? We talk about providing certain solutions where you can. You can build innovators in the country. You understand? Now, when you have that in every school, go to Stanford, go to MIT, go to Yale, go to Harvard. They have an incubator. Every school, most of their schools have incubators. You get? So Nigerians need to have that as well. And I think they are doing that now.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, they are doing that now. Right. They're actually implementing it now.
Yes.
Right. They're actually accepting itself. Right.
Where people can students can innovate, bring up solutions.
Yes, exactly. You understand?
Yes.
So
those programs exist.
Those programs start applying to exist.
I have to disagree with your student loan thing.
Why?
Because first of all, we don't even have students that have, or we don't even have a population that have had at least primary school education. There are different places in Nigeria that you will go that people haven't even had 6 years of formal education as children. That's to even say, okay, before you can even decide that I'm going to go to school, going to further my education.
How does that factor?
It factors in. You understand? It means that most people are not even going to be, like, over time, a lot of people are not even going to be rich enough to even send their students to school. If you are going to be talking about student loans now, if you are going to talk about privatization, first of all, you're going to talk about a heavy increase in school fees. And with that heavy increase in school fees, your solution is to come up with student loan.
Easy student loans. It's not it's not that you're going to stop Nigerians from getting to school. You're going to give them the loans. It's basically for why am I saying for subsidy?
How do they pay back the debt?
By going into the labor market, you understand, giving them jobs and then paying them.
At the jobs
they're
there.
paying.
At the jobs there.
And that's why I did not finish when you cut me down, right?
No, you had already finished.
I did not finish. I did not finish.
Wait.
I wanted to say that there's a downside to this.
The
downside to this is that there are no jobs at the moment.
You understand?
That's the only thing.
You talked about USA's whole student debt. There are a lot of unemployed people who are struggling to pay their debt. A lot of people,
in US.
A lot of people who even come to suicide because they can't even pay.
Yes,
but then it's a little bit better because those people are not even sick. It's not like I said they're seeking government. Is government even providing jobs?
They are not providing jobs.
You understand?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Are they providing jobs? These jobs are basically provided by the private sector. You understand? And we actually have to first of all make sure that there are jobs that people who collect their student loans can actually get. You understand? And another thing I once considered, I think I told someone this, I don't know if I told you before, is that we can have different classes of universities. You understand?
Yeah.
Because to leave people to
that's
privatize
solution.
universities imagine all the universities.
Can you get oil per head?
I know. if all universities in Nigeria were to be privatized, not everybody will be able to go to university.
Yes,
you understand?
I agree.
The rich people will be able to go to universities. Some middle class people will be able to squeeze themselves to send some people to send their children to university.
Yes.
You understand? So if for those ones that won't be able to do that, you just start thinking about the loans, right? You understand? But then if they get the loans and then they go in and they now come out, you're already disadvantaged coming from a poor background. And then
when you graduate, you're already disadvantaged.
Yeah, I go for that disadvantage.
Because you have so high loans on your
exactly.
head. Yeah.
So if you think about like the community college system in the United States of America.
But what you just mentioned right now is basically a mix of student loans and subsidy.
Yes,
that's basically what you just mentioned.
We basically need to have a mixture of them.
Exactly.
I was just make an example of community colleges in America, for example. Yeah. So what if we had like the state government universities, for example, basically serve as that, or maybe some of those colleges of education maybe converted into community college like universities in Nigeria to provide cheaper forms of education. You understand? Cheaper forms of education, cheaper courses too. Because when we think about it, if you're talking about a course like medicine, you understand? If you look at medical graduates abroad, they actually have to spend a lot more on loans. You understand? They spend a lot, and they actually earn a lot too.
Over. Do you know that some of them like can accrue over $1 million? Like
$1 million in debt.
$1 million in debt.
You understand?
Just because of
saying that, and I know that some presidential candidates have come forward and have said this, but it's really not feasible in Nigeria right now. So if you're going to do that, it cannot be all universities. It cannot be available to everybody. So for those people that cannot be available to,
I actually agree with you.
For those people it cannot be available to, you actually have to find some way to, because everybody has to be educated. Everybody has to get educated. You understand?
Yeah.
You can't say it's not a must for everybody to go to a formal learning center basically.
But you know that that system also allows the people that go to these colleges. Like for example, as you said, we actually have 3 classes of schools in the country, right? We can make some accessible, but yet competent enough.
Yes.
You understand? Let's say federal colleges of education, for example, and polytechnics. You understand? Yes. They can be accessible. Then the universities now they can now implore that student loans. You understand?
That's where the government can pull out of. Basically.
Yes, government will pull out from the universities
and then maybe we refocus
on polytechnical colleges. Yes. Like really focus on them, really put that attention on them. You understand? Because that will now create a perfect balance of education and and access to education, like quality education and access to quality education as well. So if you
decide that you want to privatize or use student loans, maybe a person that is poor, you are basically denying that person access. Because not everybody that's poor will decide that school is not for me. And if you are doing that, you're going to say, okay, everybody that's poor, school should not be for you now. That's what they're basically saying. So that is as an opportunity. So improving the education sector basically is going to create a lot of opportunities for us in research, in development, and all that. So,
well, it begs to a question, right? We've talked about these industries here. Like, Kevin, what do you think?
What are the challenges?
Like, what do you think are the challenges? Because, like, at the moment, we've talked about the potential and what we can do, but honestly, if we look at Nigeria, and the way it is right now, the life cycle of Nigeria at the moment, like it took United States over 150 years or over 100 years to actually get a what's it called industrial revolution. Right now, industrial revolution came around that kind 1840 something, right? Almost 100 years basically. 1840 something. That was when Vanderbilt, the train, when the steel came in, Andrew Carnegie, when Rockefeller came in with the oil. You understand? Then JP Morgan came in late 1800s. You understand? JP Morgan came in with banks and all. Then before like the new phase came in when all of them now started like going down, and then how about it distributed the wealth of each other, like right? And then you see the likes of Harrison Ford.
Yes.
Is it Harrison Ford?
Creating the cars.
Yeah, Harrison Ford creating the cars, you understand? And it's now we're at that point where the time is not right for most of these things that we're talking about.
Yes, and number one is that security is still a problem in Nigeria.
Yes.
So the first thing that Nigeria needs to do is to quell security, insecurity rather. We cannot achieve. In fact, if you even look at all the let's take a look at all the presidential candidates right now, the leading presidential candidates, all the things that they say they want to do for Nigeria. If you bring them out, line them up, dissect them, you see that they cannot be successful completely in its entirety without focusing on security. You understand?
They can't.
You cannot.
We're talking about infrastructures.
We talked about agriculture. Farmers are getting kidnapped on the road to the farm.
Yeah.
We talked about tourism. Who wants to come to Nigeria with insecurity? You understand? Yeah? Then talk about mining.
The same
thing. Why wouldn't any insurgents one
of the reasons for insecurity,
try to control a mine?
One of the reasons for insecurity is basically the mining areas right now. That's
basically trying to take over those mines.
Yeah.
You understand? So also tech cannot really improve until people basically come in, like venture capitalists have to come into Nigeria, basically, and they have to see Nigeria as
infrastructure like that really for investment. And apart from that as well, like Yahoo Boys, for example, you understand, actually take advantage of the tech that is growing here.
Exactly.
In Nigeria.
So that even brings about cybersecurity.
You understand? So there is cyberbullying, not cyberbullying. Let's not only talk about cyberbullying, but there is cyber hacks, there is cyber insecurity.
Yes.
You understand?
So all those things need to be put in check before we can even start talking about all this diversification processes. Then we have government commitments and political instability. Okay.
There's no continuation in projects.
Yes. So it's not like we have wars.
Projects.
It's not like when I talk about political instability, many people think that I'm talking about, let's say we're talking about wars, we're talking about let's say coups and all type of things. We don't have that.
No,
like we've enjoyed since 1999. We've had uninterrupted democratic governments, democratically elected governments. But then I feel like that's also a problem, because we can take what is it? Ekiti State, for example. Ekiti State, it is rare to actually have a governor complete 2 terms in office. He will do 4 years, then the election comes, maybe I don't know whether he performs so bad. The election comes, everyone say, "I want this guy out." You understand? The guy gets out, another person comes in.
The next 4 years, another person again.
The same person that voted out that time will now come in and
come again, exactly.
The governor again. You understand? Dating back to as far as 2003, I guess.
And then
it was like that. Sometimes they won't be impeached for another governor entered. It's crazy.
And then a flip coin to that now is Gombe State. Gombe States have been having continuity.
Yes.
That I can know, like, since democratic rule started, they've had the same plan till today, and they keep continuing. Whoever comes, even if it is from a different party that comes in, they actually continue from what that person actually started. So it's not even a plan. It's not even a plan of, let's say, the last person that just did. It's the plan of the first person that started in 1999, right? That they keep continuing. They keep working.
So you see, the problem is that a lot of this.
The only difference now is that in Gombe is that instead of saying that they will come and tarnish what this person did. No, they will continue with it,
like, you know what I'm
and then add their own spice, add
Yes.
their own imprints
Yes.
to it. They're not going to stop that. They're going to continue with it, but they're going to add their own imprints. That's basically what
you
they
know,
do.
especially when you have two opposition parties now.
Yeah.
Let's say okay, let's take the juggernauts, PDP and APC.
Yes.
So let's say PDP government just finished their tenure now, and
Before
then,
it was PDP, it was PDP and ANPP, but
yes. so now they what's it called? The next guys now are coming in now. The APC, let's say they win the election and they come in like, oh, the PDP, you know how the politics is. They all basically go back and forth with each other. So they're like, I'm going to overhaul all the projects. Basically, I want to start from scratch. So basically, you're taking like one step forward, 2 steps back.
As a country,
it doesn't make any sense. So all those type of things have to be considered.
So, for example, now, right, there's a lot of good things that the APC Buhari regime has actually done, right? And there are some of them that they did good, but not at the right time.
Yes.
You understand? And there are some projects that they've not started yet. Now, as someone that comes in, let's say for example, Atiku comes in, right? He continues with certain things that are going on. For example, the talent development that we just talked about, we give them credit for. You understand? He can continue with that. He can improve on that. You understand? Privatization. He actually talked about privatization. He actually wanted to continue doing that. He can continue with that. He can continue with that.
Imagine getting into power and then you have this APC guys.
We're not privatizing again. We're not privatizing again, so we'll take it back again. What does that
any idea, even if the idea was the same with your own, imagine just,
it doesn't make sense at all.
So you just have, no matter what it is, if as long as that policy was for the good of the nation, you have to continue with it. As long as it's on the right track, you have to continue with it. You have to, even if it was like you said, good but not at the right time, find out how to salvage it.
Exactly.
And then
or you cannot even put. You must not even say, okay, fine, it's a bad thing. Or you can just say, okay, fine, let's now bring it back on track. Start the whole. Not that you're going to start the whole process.
Or a good project that failed along the line.
Thank you. You pick it up. You understand? So it's that has, and you know how companies do transition is what we call transition in corporate bodies, right? We advise companies basically to have transition, let's say 6 months before there's a change. Yeah, we call that change management. You understand? So you manage change. So, and that's the whole process of after this election, for example.
Yes.
That's the whole point.
It's already started.
It's supposed to have started before. You understand, right?
So
immediately after election, you already know who you're going to give. So you have to prepare. You have to prepare before the election. Exactly. Yeah. So, and that transition committee has to do with, okay, fine, you together with the team that won, the president, candidate that won, right? Now you start talking and say, okay, fine, what have you done so far? Right? What are the projects that you've done so far? Right? You understand? Okay, fine. This is what we've done. This is what we've done. These are the data we have and all that. Right?
This is where we stand.
This is where we stand and all that. So fine. Like, what was your plan? What was your intention? Let's get to know what was your intention that you wanted to do. Okay, let's get to know, right? And you tell us. Now, it's up to me that I just want the election to say, alright, fine. Okay, we see that you're trying to do this, which is good, but we think that this is not the right time. Why don't we start from where it's supposed to start, and then we continue with the same project? You understand? Or we put it somewhere else, and then we make sure that we create infrastructures that will work for it. Then when the time is right, then we continue with it. You understand? So you keep those ideas, and even if it's still not the right time, whoever comes and wins the election next time, you hand over those same ideas to that same person. You get, because it continues, it keeps going. It's not that you just dump it one side, right? And you add yours. So yeah, those are basically it. Yeah, and there's something I wanted to add, like for this industries, ease of doing business, right? There's something I actually I talked about, right? I think capitalism, right? And this is basically what I feel is going to right, and that's basically when it comes to privatization. Yeah. Now, privatize these industries, but not completely. Right. When you privatize them, you make sure that, let's say you privatize 50% and then you hold 50%. Right now, the 50% that is out there, right, you allow companies and individuals to invest, right, into this. What's it called? So one, it increases competition, right, and it's not that you're going to give only one person that 50%, not two, not three, a lot of people, so that it provides them the ground to say, okay, fine. If you don't do well, the government can seize that share and give it to the other person. You understand? So that creates competition basically in the market. That creates competition. Okay, fine, I need to do well. I need to do better. You understand? Okay, now, and the more you do better, the more it gets good. And guess what? It actually does well. It actually does well for economies. Why? Because there are some countries that have done this, and they initially gave 50% to private companies, right? Then after some years, they saw that it was actually going well. Guess what? They gave the rest of the 50% to the private because the model was working. Why are we stressing ourselves managing the other 50%? Give it to them. Let them continue. Let's use the same model. You understand? So that removes. And guess what? Do you know that lessens the pressure on the government? Because it only allows the government to do actually what they are meant to do. To set directives.
Yes, exactly.
To rule. Because if you're handling all these industries on yourself, if you're handling all these things yourself, you won't have the energy to do everything. Your mind will be different in different places, but if you're sure that a model works and you replicate it in different industries, man, that picks up and then that allows you to actually do your main duty, supervise and rule, basically. And at the end of the day, you even have less blame coming to you as a government, as a regime, because if
the citizens are agitating, like you said, you follow and agitate.
Yeah, you follow exactly.
Like we are going to do something about these guys. You know,
they are doing this, they are wrong, they are cheating you, blah blah blah.
They are going to do the full extent of our wrath.
Yeah. And we're working with these independent regulation bodies in this industry to actually make sure that they actually do the right thing for you as Nigerians, as citizens. May God bless Nigeria. May God bless the citizens. Blah blah. And soft work. You get so, and at the moment, that's a wrap.
So yeah, I think that actually brings us to the end of the episode. And if you are listening to this, or if you listened up to this point,
thank you very much.
I have a message for you. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And I have a message for you. If you're listening to this right now, it's probably 3 days. It's not that. It's definitely 3 days to the election, and we will advise, since this is the last episode before the election, obviously.
Yeah.
So I want to wish everyone a free, fair, and credible election. And we all implore that once you have your PVC, do not waste your PVC. Remember the stress you went through to get your PVC. So do not.
If you need to travel, because it's coming on Wednesday, it's dropping on Wednesday. If you need to travel that Wednesday to go to your polling units.
Yes. So you do not get disenfranchised.
Yes.
You have to exercise your civic duty and vote. You have to vote. Do not waste your votes. Do not.
Please vote wisely. Don't allow anybody, including us, to cajole you to vote for someone that you don't want.
That's why we've actually tried our best to not talk about even though we had some slip-ups in past episodes, but we've tried our best not to talk about our own political affiliations, basically. So we want everybody to basically
really be critical. Think for yourself.
Think for yourself. That's why we had that entire episode about how to basically select your preferred candidate. So you can go back and check this is there. Check who ticks your boxes. Basically, this is basically injury time. So if you've not decided yet, you have to decide now. You understand? And you also have to educate people alongside you. not to influence them.
Yeah. And please,
You don't have to influence them.
This is
You don't have to cajole or coerce, basically.
And this is very important. Like this something I want to add to this is, if someone has a different opinion from you about a preferred candidate, please and please learn how to compartmentalize. Please, it's very, very important. Don't lose friends because of this.
Don't lose friends because of
Don't.
elections. Do not fight with your family members because of elections. You understand? The elections will come and go. The person both of you want might not even win. You understand? And then you become enemies forever.
Exactly.
Because of people that
don't even know you.
That do not know you. All that we hope is that whoever wins is
and
the best
also,
for the job.
Our advice: don't badmouth any candidate online or social media, because one, let's think critically on this. Yeah, if just peradventure I'm someone that likes Peter Obi, yeah, and then Tinubu gets into power now. What are you going to do? Are you going to kill yourself? One, are you not going to start thinking, okay, fine, what am I going to do to actually take advantage of his government? That's the next thing you have to do, because you have to think about the best scenario and the worst scenario at the end of the day, so that you're okay with any result that comes out. So as it is right now, the only thing I'm thinking is, okay, fine. That's why I always do this. Very, very important. I always read. I always get to know every opinion, every side of the opinion for every person, every person, right? Yes. Whether it's an argument I'm having with someone, whether I'm trying to choose something, right? I want to know the pros and cons, right, for every person, so that if peradventure Kwankwaso wins, you understand, I know exactly what to do and how to gain, who to follow, how to gain favor, and how to actually take my stake in his own administration.
So your own is about gaining favor.
No, not gaining favor. Not really gaining favor, right? What the point is basically,
if you have to build in that environment.
In that environment, how are you going to build?
Yes, you have to know how you're going to build.
Yeah, how are you going to build? You really need to know how you're going to build in any candidate environment.
Yes. So
that when they win, you're not going to just be sad and say, okay, fine, for the next 4 years you're going to be bad. Are you that stupid? Let me you're not that stupid. For the next 4 years, you can't stay for the next 4 years and just pause your life like that. No, you have to take advantage.
You have to think about how a certain person's policies can affect the way you affect your productivity, basically.
Yeah, and also you also have to notice something.
And how to twist it to your own favor.
You also have to notice something, right? You can say your opinion out there on the social media, but you should not insult people.
Yes.
Right? Why? Because if you insult people and then in the next 2 years, when they win, next 3 years, when the person that you insulted comes into power, and the next 3 years, you're coming for an opportunity, for example, in a particular government, whatever, and they happen to come and see and vet your whatever political, your Twitter, whatever.
But last that things don't matter.
And they can matter.
They don't matter.
So it does.
If the insult was so sweet, it's like, oh, okay, we can use this one to insult another person.
It does matter. Why? Do you know that Dangote has supported every candidate, but he will not say it.
Yes.
He will not say anything about anybody that he supported. He just kept quiet, but he supports. You get? So, if you want, say your opinion on who you think should win or whatever, but don't abuse. That's basically what I'm just saying. Don't just abuse. That's just it. If not, because anybody can respect anybody for choosing your candidate.
Yeah.
But when you abuse them and they come and see it later on, they'll be like, okay, and I want to work with this person. You get? So yeah, guys, that's a wrap. Happy voting and good luck. Please stay safe and be very careful. Security conscious.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.